God doesn't want religion, he wants relationship. What is spiritual treadmill? It is the subconscious belief that your standing with God is maintained by your current momentum. Religious performance is motion without progress. The treadmill is bewitching because it makes you feel like you're doing something. We have turned the Christian life into a cardiovascular workout instead of a rest in the finished work of Jesus. Watch to the end and learn how to rest in Jesus. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. Welcome back, family. I'm Reverend Dr. Favour Uche Ibom, and I'm so glad you have joined me for a step 4 of our journey. Hallelujah. So you've been with us for the first 3 episodes. You understand we have covered some massive grounds. We have covered a lot. Very deep things that are helping us to grow in our work with God. We stood in the courtroom and had the gavel drop for our justification. We moved into the living room to realize our adoption as children of the Most High God. What an exciting moment. And in our last session, we opened the bank vault of heaven to see the 100% score of Jesus imputed into our account. We moved from being broke, being in debt, to having overflow, the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. But today I want to get honest with you. Even after hearing this truth, many of you woke up this morning feeling tired. Not just physically tired. Not just because you didn't get enough sleep. No. But so very tired. You know the theology. You have the bank statement we talked about last time. But you still feel like you are running a race that has no finish line. Today, we're moving out of the bank vote into the Gymnasium of Religion. Religion can be very tasking. God doesn't want religion, he wants relationship. We're going to talk about the spiritual treadmill. We're going to address why so many spirit-filled believers are exhausted from religious performance. And more importantly, how to step off the machine forever. How to walk in freedom. How to walk in the fullness and the full package that Jesus purchased for us. And I believe it's going to transform how you live and how you walk. So the anatomy of the treadmill, we're going to look at that, examine it, and know how it works. What is spiritual treadmill? It is the subconscious belief that your standing with God is maintained by your current momentum. It's a lie. Think about a treadmill in the physical realm. So you can step on the treadmill. I like to run on treadmills, sometimes 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, even marathon, half marathon. So you can run 5, 10, 20 kilometers or miles. You can sweat. Your heart rate can soar. You can burn thousands of calories. You feel fit. But when you press stop and step off, do you know one thing? Do you know where you are? You are in the same exact spot where you started. You never moved. Religious performance is motion without progress. Let me say that again. Religious performance is motion without progress. So in the book of Galatians, Apostle Paul dealt with a group of people who had discovered the grace of God, but were being tempted to get back to the treadmill. Look at Galatians chapter 3, verses 1 to 3. Paul used very strong words for them. Say, you foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Before your very eyes, Jesus was clearly portrayed as crucified. Are you so foolish? After beginning by means of the Spirit, are now trying to finish by means of the flesh. That was the case for the Galatian church. Paul is asking them, why are you running? You started this journey by grace through the Spirit. Why do you think you have to maintain it by the flesh, by your own efforts, your own abilities, your own to-do list, your own religious stamina? The treadmill is bewitching because it makes you feel like you're doing something. It gives you a sense of control. If I pray 2 hours, I feel fast. If I miss my devotion, I feel like the treadmill is slowing down and I'm about to fall off. the back. No. 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 We have turned the Christian life into a cardiovascular workout instead of a rest in the finished work of Jesus. The finished work. Rest in the finished work of Jesus. Rest in it. As you allow the Holy Spirit to continue to transform me. There are 3 motors that power the treadmill. We're going to address them. We can't, why we can't stop. This is the reason. Why is it so hard to just stand still in the love of God? Embrace His love, His grace, His mercy. There are 3 main motors that keep the spiritual treadmill spinning. You need to know them. The number 1 motto is the motto of fear. This is the fear that if you stop performing, God will stop providing. It is the fear that your not guilty verdict in the courtroom was conditional on you never making another mistake. So when fear powers your walk with God, you aren't running towards Him. You're running away from a perceived punishment. You're running away from the punishment. No, rather you need to run to God in love. That motto of fear. The second motto is the motto of comparison. We look at the person in the next lane. We see their prayer life, their spiritual gift, or their outward success. We think, I need to turn up the incline. I need to increase my speed. I'm not keeping up. We aren't seeking God. We are seeking to be as spiritual as that someone else. That's a trap. That's a tragedy. Paul said it is foolishness when we compare ourselves to ourselves. Stop comparison. The third motto is the motto of debt management. So in our last episode, we talked about how Jesus paid the debt. But many of us still feel like we owe God interest. He has paid the debt, but there is interest I need to pay. No. We think He did so much for me. The least I can do is bomb myself out for Him. We try to pay back a gift that was meant to be enjoyed, not reimbursed. Enjoy it. It's not meant to be reimbursed. You can't reimburse it. You can't afford it. But now we're going to move into the high cost of performance. It's very expensive. So the problem with the spiritual treadmill is that it eventually leads to spiritual burnout. You cannot sustain a life of performance because your flesh has a limit. If you're trying to perform, you're going to fail over time. Jesus addressed this directly in Matthew chapter 11, 28 to 30. Listen to these words. If you're hearing it for the first time, I want you to just take it in. Allow it to go in. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul." Jesus said, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So if your Christianity feels heavy, it is not Jesus' yoke you're wearing. If your spiritual life is making you weary and burdened rather than giving you rest for your soul, you're likely on the treadmill. Performance-based religion. It produces nothing. It produces fruit that looks good on the outside, but over time, it begins to rot. It produces a form of godliness, but denies His power. The Bible says in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. Why? Because the power of the Christian life is found in dependence, not in stamina. Dependence in God. When you're running a treadmill, you're depending on your own legs. When you're walking with Jesus, you're dependent on His finished work. Go to the bosom of the Father and rest. Even when you go to prayer, it's not so much about what God will do for you. You just want to be with Him. You just want to love Him. You're so grateful that you're a child of God. So we need to step off from this and step into the Sabbath rest. How do you stop running? How do we step off the machine that has been spinning for years? For many of us, it's been spinning for decades. It requires a shift on how we view work. A shift. There has to be a mental complete shift. You see, in the Old Testament, the Sabbath was a physical requirement to stop working. However, in the New Testament, the Sabbath is a spiritual reality we live in every day. Every day, spiritual reality we live in every day. The author of Hebrew said in Hebrews chapter 4, verses 9 to 10, there remains staying a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from his. Rest from their works. So to rest from your work doesn't mean you stop praying. No. It doesn't mean you stop giving. No. It doesn't mean you stop serving in church. It doesn't mean you stop helping people. No. It means you stop doing those things to get something from God. You start doing them because you already have everything from God. See, the treadmill says, if I run, he will love me. That's a treadmill. But the gospel, the good news of Jesus says, he loves me so I can rest. He loves me so I can rest. So when you realize that your 100% score, your imputation is fixed, and your place at the table, your adoption is permanent, the treadmill loses its power. It loses its power. You don't need the mission to feel secure. You don't need that treadmill to feel secure. You're secured even in your stillness, in your quietness. You're not trying to please God. You're living for him because he has done so much for you. So we're going to look at walking from victory, not for victory. We're not walking for victory. No, we're walking from victory. We have won already. I want to clarify something very important. Stepping up the treadmill is not an invitation to laziness. No. It's completely different. It is an invitation to true power. True power. So when you stop running on the treadmill, you finally have energy to actually walk somewhere. You can walk around. Take a walk with Jesus. You become more sensitive in the spirit. You listen to God, you hear God. You stop wasting your spiritual energy on maintaining your image. You don't care about what people think. No. You focus on the audience of one, on God. Focus on God. You start using the energy you have to love people, to use your spiritual gift, to expand the kingdom, to make influence in complete and total dependence on God. So on the treadmill, you pray so God won't be mad at you. Off the treadmill, you pray because you love talking to your Father. Just want to be with him. So on the treadmill, you give because you're afraid of the cost. If you don't give, what will happen? No. Off the treadmill, you give because you're a joint heir of an infinite fortune. Limitless fortune. You give because it's giving you so much. The Bible says, Philippians chapter 2, verses 12 to 13. But say, work out our salvation with fear and trembling. Not we do it because God is the one who works in us. God is the one who works in you, both to will and to do, according to his good pleasure. God is the one who's doing the real job. He's working in and you're working out. Notice the other. God works in you, then you work out. The treadmill is trying to get you busy. No. Move away from that. The gospel is God's power flowing from the inside out. Live in that reality. In conclusion, you need to press the stop button on that treadmill. Family, some of you are grasping for air. You've been trying to be the perfect Christian, the perfect leader, the perfect spouse, the perfect servant, and you're exhausted. Jesus is standing next to your treadmill today. He's not cheering for your speed. He's not cheering for your effort. He's not checking your heart rate. He's reaching out his hand towards the stop button. And he said you can press the stop button on the treadmill. Step out and be with him and enjoy the full package of what he paid for. Stop the performance. Silence the noise of the machine. Step off the treadmill and step into the rest of God. God will use you to do great things. You will serve many people. You impact many lives because he loves you. He has accepted you. In Jesus, you're enough. Stop doubting who you are. It's not so fast you run. It's not what you do for God. It's who you are with God. Be with God. Let him transform you. Then use you to do much more you're able to do on your own. I want to invite you to connect with us on Spirit and Scripture. So you've been running on the spiritual treadmill, and this message has given you a permission to finally breathe. I want to hear from you. We're a community of believers learning to live from rest, not from stress. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I invite you for other teachings that we have and dive deeper into the Word of God together. Join us on Facebook page. We have an amazing community. We'd like to hear from you. We'd love to read your comment on how you're learning to step off the performance treadmill. Follow us on Instagram for rest reminders for this week. Daily posts that will help you stay off the treadmill into the grace of God. Follow us on TikTok as well for short, powerful encouragement to living a life of spirit-filled rest. Use it. God is calling you into his rest. Follow us, on Twitter, X, formerly called Twitter, for bite-sized truth that will keep your mind renewed and your heart at peace. And I know this is a blessing to me. It changed my life, and I believe it will change your life. Please like this teaching and share it with a friend who is so tired, deeply tired in the spirit. Let them know they don't have to run anymore. Jesus inviting them to carry his yoke that is light and easy. I'm Reverend Dr. Favour Uche Ibom. The machine is off. The rest is yours. And the Father is smiling. Keep walking in the Spirit. Keep anchored in Scripture. I will see you in the next episode. God bless you.